Now, talking to the second version of Power BI, which is Power BI Cloud, that is a web, you have to procure a subscription. That comes under the yearly subscription. The cost would not be so high. If you go to Power BI, you already have an account, so you have to uh, you know mm, create an account of your Power BI, and then they can set up it. So I do have it with me. I have just created a Power BI uh, login, and I could just log into this Power BI environment. Now I'll just log in here, sign in. Now once I sign in, I am there in the Power BI cloud. Okay, so I just had make a trial registration which comes 60 days. For 60 days trial I have already existed 29 days, and I have 31 days left for this trial to be uh, expire. Now log in through this system, and these are all the cloud repository. Here you can, first thing is, when you landed here in this server environment, you have to create a workspace. Now what is workspace? I'm there in the first and default workspace called my workspace. Now you can create multiple workspaces. Like one workspace is completely a separate repository altogether. Okay, say for example you have a staging environment, you have a production environment. Okay, for staging environment, which is mean for developers, you will give access to that environment, to that workspace, to certain number of developers, so that they can deploy the dashboard, they can test the dashboard here. If it needs any changes in the Power BI server, they can do some changes here. Finally, after they save it, you as an administrator, you can deploy the dashboard or migrate the dashboard from staging to a production environment. So there can be multiple workspaces. For example, I have another workspace called training. Okay, so I will also create another new workspace. For that I will deploy my dashboard here, create app workspace. I am registered as an admin, so I can create a workspace, create an app workspace. Now I will just make it as production or live environment, live workspace, production. Now you can set up it, either it is public, anyone can see what's inside, or you make it private. Okay, so this is what the workspace is, and then you can define here, member can edit the Power BI content, member can only view the Power BI content, members, but I am not a member, I am an admin of this workspace. So I'll just make this as a member can only view the Power BI content. Now add workspace member. Can you just tell me your email ID, please? I'll just add you to this workspace so that you can see our live environment.
It's lal lal underscore.
You can just drop in the chat window. I will invite you, and
Okay.
concurrently you need to make the registration. You will be receiving a notification email through which you have to go for a registration and log in into this, and we will together concurrently we will work in the same dashboard.
Okay. Eh,
This way, I can invite my team members to work with me or to deploy the dashboard or to work concurrently in the dashboard. This is how we can create the users for a workspace. Initially, I have just created a workspace and later on I can also add the users. I'm not going to make it premium, which will add the cost to this uh, portfolio. The workspace ID is production. This is private, and only approved members can see what is inside. Okay. Now you go for a registration here. I'm just sending you. Did you get a mail? Let's check it together. Did you receive any mail?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Just
No.
trying once again.
I just checked.
I sent you. This email address does not exist in your organizations. Okay. So it's just checking that Power BI. It is checking that normal users cannot create the Power BI registration because they are looking for the professionals who has their company ID. Normally Yahoo, Gmails, they are not allowing because people may come here and make the registration, use the taste of Power BI server, and after 60 days they will leave. Okay, so they are just allowing to the verified and professionals, though, and they are checking also their company details and all. Right. So that's why your email address does not exist in the organization because my email address has a separate domain name. You can see here, right?
Yes.
So no issue. We will, you know, I'm as admin. So I will try with another. Let's say it would not allow the public Gmail emails. Again, it will show the same. This email address does not exist in your organizations, so it has a restrictions. It will not allow. If I would have someone from the same domain, it would have been allowed. All right, no issue. Now the workspace is created, and I am inside the production workspace. Everything is different here. You can see I have this dashboards. Um, I have to go inside the um, this thing. Yeah. So as an admin, I can see the files and dashboards from the various workspaces. Like I have one is my workspace, which is the default one. Another was the training workspace where we have deployed this practice dashboard. Another is training again, and this is my dashboard, which is in my workspace. So though we have created another called production, production workspace. So I'm here now in the production workspace. So what I have to do, um, first of all I have to deploy a dashboard in this workspace. So it will create basically the projects, sheets, reports. So there is nothing here in this workspace. There is no dashboard, there is no report, there is no worksheet, and there is no data sheet. So in order to make it available, in order to make it, so in this is the server is just a web repository. What it does overall, you have to deploy the dashboard, you have to you know give access to the users. Say your dashboard is deployed now in your company, your MD, CEO, president, vice president, all other users, like various group of users, like developers, they should have certain level of access. Chairman, MD, president, those are high level users. They do not have the edit permissions, but they would have the viewing permissions. So I will also authenticate them in that way. And then the backup of the dashboard, I can take it from here, and then scheduling. Um, you know, Scheduling of the dashboard, like scheduling of the dashboard data, the data set, basically can be done through on a specific threshold or on a specific time. So that I don't have to do it. I will set it here. So that's the privilege. So overall, we have this type of feature: security, users to see the dashboard, and based on the permissions of the user, they will see the specific dashboards, or they will not see other dashboards. And then we can share the dashboard with other users. We can make a uh, embed of the dashboard, so that you can add the dashboard code in any of your .NET or PHP or Java websites, so that your dashboard will in the website there will be a report online. So now it's time to deploy the dashboard here. I have to come to the Power BI desktop, and from here I will simply deploy the dashboard, publish. I have to see now I have how many workspaces? 3 workspaces. Though I have logged into the Power BI server, I could see the 3 different workspaces which is created. So in the production there is nothing. So I'll have to choose this one and select. Basically a SQL Server database and some Excel databases are there, but when you deploy my dashboard, along with the dashboard, which is which form says PBIX, Power BI dashboard extension, along with this file, there will be another data file which will be deployed here. Now it is deployed. That is called order tracking dashboard in Power BI. If you want to see it online, just click here to see it online. Here the dashboard can be viewed online. All the you know tabs are here. And if you want to see it completely full view as a desktop, there's option here called enter full screen mode. Now you can see this is exactly look like a Power BI desktop full screen. You can go next. There are various tabs. It is very fast, right? You can see the same feeling like we have in the Power BI desktop. There's no waiting us to see the show the data. Yes, that is very fast. So I can see the filtrations, I can see the states, I can see the countries, and based on that, the data is getting filtered very quickly. Of course, it is internet application, so it also depends on the bandwidth of your server. So these are all what reporters are. These are all the table report. What object is this? This is the table object, right? And then this one is the matrix. We have created this, right? You remember
Yes.
in the last session it was a matrix.
Yeah.
So we have
Mhm.
one is a vertical view, another is a pivoted view, right? I mean, there this is the customer names and this is the month names. So both are having two fields, and the third one is the data which is showing here. Probably the sales we are showing here. Now the month-wise sales is showing on this screens, and the darkness of the color represents dark color represents the higher volume of data, whereas light data represent the reverse. It is giving me the entire feel of the desktop, RVA desktop. Now there are filters. I don't have any filters added to this screen. If you want to add anything, any filter here, it should be shown here.
Mhm.
Any report we have added filter to that? Probably one or two report I think we have added. Um, you need to add the filters. There's a tab here in the Power BI desktop. No, nowhere we have added the filter. We have created some filters on the screens only. This is one of the filter. These are all the filters. But the filter can also be added here, like where this Power BI desktop. Now this is we have this items. These are all the customers.
Mhm.
So page level filter. Okay. Uh, you need to add some fields into this page level filter drop say. So page level filter and report level filter. So this is one page, and report means this is the entire screen is a report. Okay. So if you add anything to this page level filter will be visible to this particular dashboard. However, the report level filter will be shown in entire screen. So what I'll do is I will here add an item based on which I can filter the data. So this is the filter. I'll just drag it to here. You can see this is my page level filter which I've added. See, based on these selections, the data on this report is getting filtered. If you check this option, then you can only select one data particularly at a time. I don't want to go with this. I will select multiple data. So this is one which is added. Now I will also add the country, customer country. So I'll just add this country. I don't want to I don't want to filter anything here. So there is a small eraser button here. Click here. So all the data will be displayed on the screen. If you want to do something as a drill down filter, uh, we have created the drill downs in the other screens. Here you can add city, country, all the stuff. And again I will add this country to this report level filter. So you can see country I have added in which screen? Custom visualization screen, right? So this particular filter is affecting to all the sheets. These are called the sheets, right? And the entire screen is called as a report. So I have country in this, added this country in this custom visualization. So I have only one KPI which is using this field called country. Now this particular KPI will be filtered where we have the country field is being used. Okay, other may not be filtered. So like where I have country, geographical analysis, here we have revenue by country. Now you can see in this geographic analysis, page level filter is not there because that was there in this custom visualization part. Now country is here in this geographical analysis. I will also add the popular filters like this customer name. I will add to this here, and product name also I'll add to here. So most of these dashboards has these three filters. So I have added this one, and in every page you will see it here: country, customer, product. You see here also it is there, here it is there, here it is there. So everywhere it is here. So here we have quarters, product. So product can be filtered. Now I can, we have customer, we have a product, we have months. So I can also add this in the transaction. I can also add the month, trans month, to this page level filter. So we have Jan, Feb, March. Based on this, the filtration can be done. So I'm just keeping on adding the filters to give this dashboard a real-time view. Here we also need a month to this. Most of this chart is containing month. These are all items. So I will just add the item names here in our little table. We have this item description. I can bring it here. Now I have enough number of filters in my dashboard, so I will just go and deploy this again. I will replace it on the previous scene, previous version of the dashboard. Production, select, replace, or tracking dashboard. I've got it here. It is deployed, and I can refresh it to see the latest report. The production, I've got this filter. Now you see in this filter, country, customer, product are there, right? Make a full screen mode. Filtration now is available here. Now I can filter it anywhere. I will select few countries to get their specific data. I can erase it. India. You can see their specific data. Summary report. Here we have customers. So the most of the things the customer is there. I can select few customers based on the selection only. I can filter my data here. You see, this is good. This is report level filter. Okay, I don't have any page level filter here. You can see report level filter. In the custom visualizations, we have page level filter and report level filter also. Okay, so I will erase it here. I have countries, I can select few countries on this as a page level filter, and their data can be seen here. So it's quite fast. Here we have country in the page level. Here we have country in the report level as well. Now I have items here in this page label, so I can get it filtered. The item, there are two different mode of filtration. Basic filtering, you can choose it here. Advanced filtering, here you can make a filtration by using fuzzy logic or wildcat. Just, the item which is start with AR cable. So I will just write it AR, apply filter. So you see all the items AR cable 4C, AR cable this thing, AR cable this is get filtered. I will make a contents. Contents means anytime, anywhere it would be this word would be there. So I'll just write where, apply filter. So every item you can see it contains somewhere, it contains where, right? At the starting, at the ending, at the middle, at the so anywhere in this sentence. So this is the items which is containing only where. So this filter is called as a page level filter with the advanced filtering option. Right? This is applicable to the server and the desktop as well. So both of the things are mostly same in the server and desktop. Okay. Now let's go on this. Go to this. Now refreshing are of two types here. One refresh is basically it will refresh based on your command, that is called as a forceful refresh. That means whenever you are refreshing it, if your database server is connected through the network to this Power BI cloud, then it would instantly start fetching the data and show you the latest information on the dashboard. The second option is refresh based on a schedule that will refresh on a specific time whatever or wherever you define. Maybe in the midnight, maybe early in the morning, maybe in the midday. Okay, mostly it is fetched on the midnight because that time user is less using your application server. So where this filter will be done? So this filter is basically application level filter which will push to refresh the data uh, any point of time. Okay, you can just refresh it. It is refreshing the data instantly on my click. Okay, it is not a time basis schedule. Now we will go to this dashboard property, and there we will define the specific schedule. In this production environment, we have in the report tab we have this report which we have deployed, and in the dataset tab we have the dataset which is separated from the report. By default, when you create here, the report is embedded with the data set. We cannot see, sorry, the data set is embedded with the report. We cannot segregate the data set out of the Power BI. But when you deploy it, it is automatically segregated and placed in this dataset folder. Now you see the report, we have one dashboard called order tracking dashboard. This is basically the report part. Now in the data set you see this is a data set. Okay, database basically. Data set is just a kind of buffer or a kind of offline data set where the data which is pulled from the server and store it here. In between, if there is a failure of the connection of between your server and the Power BI server, between database server and Power BI server, you would be able to see the dashboard. But unless until you refresh it once again, you would see that particular data. But if you refresh that, and in the same time, if your database connectivity from the Power BI server is failed, then you will lose the existing data also. Am I make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the data set. Now there are two options to refresh it. You can refresh it by your manually. You can push it. So it is now refreshing the data and bringing the data from the data source. Now you can schedule it. This option is called schedule refresh. Okay.
Mhm.
In real time scenario, this option used to be nothing here. Now setting for order tracking dashboard. You don't have any gateway installed or configured for the data set, for the data source and the data set. So please install the new personal gateway to configure data source for the existing data gateway. So here I need to install this gateway. So gateway is a kind of plug, okay, through which the data will be passed from the database server to this Power BI server. It will just create a connection string in the live environment. So I just tried to creating the last refresh, which was failed. So the same thing which I said, to use a data gateway, make sure the computer is online, okay, and the data source is added in manage gateway. So just make a manage gateway. You don't have any data in the gateway. It is saying. Go back and let's install a gateway. Say your database server is somewhere different from the Power BI server. This Power BI server is a cloud server. Now gateway will be installed in your database server, which would be in premises, in on premises, um, and this will enable the feature to extract the data from the local machine to the Power BI server, which is live. Now install it. It is 50-60 MB uh, software. It's a small software.
Mhm.
Okay, it is asking me to install this. Let me just download it somewhere. So to complete the schedule, you have to install on-premises data gateway. What happens? Why didn't it install? Download it. My net connectivity is a little bit slow today, perhaps. So when you install it, it will generate a unique identity of your local machine. Now you
Mhm.
can manage the gateway and choose this option. Use your data gateway personal mode. So your data which is in your personal computer and there in local machine will be available to the server in the cloud. So if you just mention or if you just define a particular time, say at early morning at 7 o'clock to schedule your dashboard, you have to ensure that your personal laptop or personal computer is in online, is online in that time. Online means it is switch on and it is having the sufficient internet bandwidth in that time, so that the Power BI server will access to your local machine and extract the data. We'll test it right away. It is just getting installed. I mean, getting completed. It's around 62 MB. So, so once you deploy the dashboard and unless until you do not refresh it, that means your dashboard is deployed, but it is static, right? It is static. So this is on-premises gateway now. It is just a kind of syncing engine which will sync your data to your server. Just like you have a Google Drive, offline mode, right? You have used a Google Drive in your local machine. What it does, it just sync your local machine's data to Google Drive, which is a cloud. Same thing, which will be this will be done by this on-premises data gateway, in Power BI. You need to install it to sync your data with the Power BI server online. So what it says, the gateway work based when it is installed on a computer that always on and not asleep. The gateway will perform more slowly on a wireless network. Okay, so that means it recommending that your system should not be go to sleep mode. Of course, because if you are maintaining your local machine as a server never makes a sleep. Okay, it always just runs on active mode, and it should not be any wireless network so that the bandwidth would be slow. It should have a sufficient bandwidth on that machine so that your data from the server would be fetched from your local machines. So I have a personal laptop, but I'm just meaning this system as a server. So if it is a database server, of course the database server will be always active, and that should be sufficient internet bandwidth. So next, you can choose it anywhere to install it. Accept this one and install. So what all are the data we have used in our dashboard? We have used two versions of the data. One is that order database, which is SQL Server, and another is that transaction database, which is customer, transaction, and product. There are three tables. That is from the Excel data source. So assuming both the data sources we have are the RDBMS, and data is updating every day by the user, and in the morning today or in the last night yesterday, say around 100 records is added to my SQL Server database, and in this morning when the Power BI server goes you know rescheduling the database in the cloud, it will connect to the gateway, and through this gateway it will fetch the data from the database and it will update in the Power BI cloud. It will update in the Power BI database here. And when the user will see the dashboard, they can refresh the dashboard right there, and the dashboard will get the latest data from the data set. You have a data set here and you have a reports or dashboards. So if your dashboard has a push button, you have a refresh button, you can refresh it to see the latest data. Now my gateway is installed. It's taking a little time to on. So it is asking for the email address to use this gateway. So exactly the same admin email address which I have used to connect to my Power BI server, I'll have to input the same. You cannot give any separate email address because both the systems, the Power BI server and your local machine, will be connected or synced with your user email
Okay.
address.
Hmm.
That is a common entity between the two systems. And internet is the via media through which the data will be traversing. It is not the intranet. If you use the Power BI on-premises edition, in that case, it would be intranet transition. That means your data is there in your local machine and your Power BI server is there in your local machine. Here, what is happening? Your database server is in your local machine and your Power BI server, cloud server, Power BI server is in the cloud. Okay. Now
Okay.
the gateway is asking me to enter this. So with this email ID, this user ID, both my server and local machine will be syncing now. Alright. So the gateway is online and ready to be used. Okay. It could just find out that I have a Power BI online account with this email
Mm-hmm.
ID and it is getting synced. Service setting, restart the gateway, diagnosis, not to need to be restarted. It is recommended to the restart the gateway every time you make a changes to the gateway configuration file. So I didn't do any changes, so no need to be restarted. Okay, close it. So just refresh this. I'm here in this production data sheet. Choose this dashboard. So when you I just install it, sign in. I just could sign out from there. So that's where it's showing edit credential. I just could connect to the data source. You can see it here. You can see two data sources we have used. You can see just below this we have order DB localhost. Order DB is my SQL Server database and product DB XLSX is my product database which is Excel database. Okay, so both could sync to my remote machine. That is asking for the password. Always this gateway has to be switch on. We cannot make it offline. Gateway has to be on like this. And you see earlier it was the gateway connection is now online, right?
Okay.
The gateway is online. So your data So it is online. You do any changes in this SQL Server database, it will on a specific schedule, it will fix to come to here. Now last refresh failed here. I just can set the refresh schedule data source credential to data source refresh because credential is invalid. So credential I have just given and it is live now, and I am going to refresh it. It should show that credential is live. Okay, now it is done. Please update the credential. Okay, I'll have to edit the credential. Okay, here it's fine. Localhost basic authentication username. The database credential you need to put here once again. The secret from the remote machine, the data source credential is given here. So both of my data set is now connected to server. Okay, data source is updated. They will see the latest data will be come to my Power BI server. Now scheduled refresh. Schedule scheduled refresh is switch off now. I'll just switch on it and I'll make it daily. It should be refreshed on a specific time. 5:30. This is my time zone. Send refresh failure notification email to me. So my email ID is being configured. If there is any failure notification, it will send an email to me. Okay. Now daily basis, weekly basis, these are the threshold or frequency on which this will be loaded. Now what time it will be loaded? Well, this is the time zone which I am selected, right? And now at the time I'll have to select on daily what time. AM, I will select 7 or 5 a.m. early in the morning, 5 a.m. or 5:30. 5 a.m. every day, it will be reloaded. If you want to refresh 2 times in a day, 5 a.m. in the morning and 12 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay, 2 times it will be reloaded. It can be also done, right? 2 times your server will be connected. So you can define the time. So now what is our threshold? Daily morning at 5 a.m. my Power BI server will communicate to my personal laptop and get the data to remote machine. In that time, a personal laptop should not be asleep and should have the internet bandwidth, proper internet bandwidth. Okay, I'll just apply it. Auto tracking system scheduled refresh is updated. That's fine. So these are all these nothing. Now the refresh is set now. Okay, I'll have to wait for the tomorrow 5 a.m. in the morning. Of course, it will be failed because it is in the server which is running down the clock, and tomorrow in the morning at 5 a.m. my laptop would be switched off. So it should show me a alert like this that the refresh is failed, and it should send me the mail also, right? So this is all about the refreshing of the